What's up, everybody? Derek here with the Bass Factory, and today we're going to be going over the top 5 plastic colors that I like to use throughout the year. You know, whenever you're trying to figure out what color to use in that type of water clarity, these variables, those conditions, this, that, the other, you don't need to think so hard. A lot of the times, if you can just do what I do, and to summarize, is to go natural. Just go natural. Make it look like what everything else in the water column is colored as or resembles. And that's where my first one comes in. A natural color, whether it be green pumpkin, green watermelon, brown, it doesn't matter as long as it somewhat appears natural as what is in the water column with those natural hues. And this color is a green pumpkin, I believe. This is a Yum Dinger. But anything of this color, a lot of the time will get you a bite. And you don't have to really worry about the color so much. As long as you just get something that looks natural in the outdoors. Not a chartreuse or something like that. Of course, you can always take one of these and take a dye and tip the tail with some chartreuse or red or whatever you want. But if you're wanting to just fish and not worry about it, go with the natural looking bait. It'll definitely catch some fish and you don't have to worry so much about what color you need to use. Well, this second lure didn't get me laughed out of the boat, but it did get me laughed at. And it is this beauty right here. This is a pink fluke. I was fishing with one of these in a Texas tournament up north, and I was up shallow. We were fishing some backwaters with some grass and other stuff, and I broke this thing out. And he just looked and said, "Huh, you're gonna fish with that? Okay, you're not catching anything." So he didn't worry about me. He didn't help me out with any other approach angles or whatnot, but I could cast this thing a mile. Because another thing he kind of laughed at was I broke out a spinning reel. So I had a spinning reel and a weightless fluke, and I was tossing this thing up into the grass, pulling it out, and it was weedless, and I was just working it around, just darting this thing around in 2 to 3 foot. He didn't catch anything, but by my 5th cast, I had a fish on already. And it was like a 2-pounder. So if I only had three fish that I could weigh in for this tournament, a 2-pounder starting off was great. And I actually ended up getting a check for that tournament, and it was because of this thing. I got some fish in from the back pockets that we were fishing, and at the end of the day, he didn't have anything to say about this pink fluke. But this thing, I can't tell you how many times I've gone in clear water situations and caught fish on this super clear water, especially up in the Ozark stuff that I used to fish. I used to pull this in those backwaters where those fish would be sitting in brush piles and other stuff, and I would pull it right through there and just dart this thing around, and those fish would just come up and inhale it. And the great thing about this thing being pink, you can see it. Whenever you're pulling this thing through the water, it just disappears, and you notice set that hook because it's gone. But if you can't see it and you're using what I was originally talking about, this natural color, you won't be able to see it like you would this. So whenever it disappears, set that hook, and that's why these pink flukes or the Zoom finesse worm is a lot of time what I also like to use, but those finesse worms in pink will also catch you a lot of fish. So either way, a pink is a great way to go with. And since we're on the sight fishing thing and we're being able to see our lures, the other one that I like to go with is one of my personal favorites during bed fishing time. Of course, a lot of people like to fish with a jig on a bed, but my way that I've gone is a Texas rigged white lizard. These things, it doesn't matter what style you get, it doesn't matter the scent so much, just as long as you can see it, because those fish are not paying attention as much as they usually do whenever it's not spawn time. And you can really trick a bass, and you can see one inhale it with this style. With this white, I've actually personally put this down into about 8 to 10 foot of water, and I caught my personal best on this style, which was a 10-9. And that thing, I caught the male off the bed, put the male in the live well, and then the female set up on there, and she looked big, but I didn't realize exactly how big she was. But I tossed out there after about 10 minutes, boom. I mean, set the hook hard, and I never had a fight quite like that. But it was not, I was probably, oh, maybe 15 feet from the bed, just sitting there. I had my little power pole micro down, and I was just sitting there right on top of the bed. And in Texas, you don't have a lot of clear water, but if you want to fish where you know the beds are and you want to be able to see those fish hit it, you need to try one of these, because this will save you a lot of missed fish and a lot of missed hook sets. My number 4 plastic color is a pretty obvious one, and that's a bait fish. Anytime you get a color that has somewhat of a white belly and then transitions into darker shades of grays or silvers, you cannot go wrong with that. That color right there will simulate a bait fish perfectly in the water. And fish will definitely hone in on it because you're trying to simulate or emulate those bait fish colors. Of course, size plays a role, but if you can get that color and you can make it look just like a bait fish that's in that water. And the great thing about this one is it actually has little blue flakes in it. I don't know if you can see that, but a lot of bait fish will actually have little like pearlescent blue in them, or shades of blue, hints of blue. So if you go with that color, you cannot go wrong. So definitely give that color a try. My last color, you could go with any darker shade, but what I like to go with is a plum color, a purple or anything like that. And the reason that I like that is because in muddier water situations, it creates more of a silhouette because of its darker color, its darker shade. But the thing that a lot of fishermen like to do whenever they're in muddy waters, go with the black or blue, which is perfect for them. But what I like to do is with this purple, because the reasoning behind that is I've learned that I can take this and not just fish in muddy water situations, but as the water clears, I can keep fishing with this and I'll still keep catching fish, and I don't have to worry about switching colors up to a natural color or anything like that. Because once the sunlight hits this, it creates that kind of glow on it with that purple or that plum color through it, and it will catch fish in clear water as well. So I definitely love to fish with one of these colors, but all of these colors have been great for me. The natural, always go with that. That'll catch you fish. That's always a go-to. The pink, even though it looks funny, is a great sight fishing lure, and that'll catch you a lot of fish, and it'll catch you a lot of fish that you actually miss with the natural color that you can't see as well. The white, definitely a great one, but I mainly use it in springtime. The bait fish year-round, and that is always a great go-to lure, especially if you're fishing fish that are offshore, suspended, or anything like that. Definitely a great one, bait fish. And then the one we just went over, the purple, the plum, that's a great color. You should definitely give those a try as well. But all of these are great, and I would love to hear from you guys and see what your thoughts on all of these lures. But subscribe if you haven't already, like this video if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.